Good evening and welcome to the Zoning Board of Appeals meeting of September 10th at 6 o'clock here in the Town Hall. At this time, I'm going to call upon everyone to stand so we can pledge allegiance to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I'd ask that you all remain standing for a moment of silence in honor of our soldiers, past and present. Thank you. I'd like to announce that this meeting is being recorded by Dartmouth Community Media, and also that our next regular scheduled meeting will be September 24th, 6 o'clock here at Town Hall. And the meeting, we'll also have a meeting on Thursday, Wednesday, September 25th, and that meeting is to conduct the 240B petitions, and that'll be held at the Dartmouth Middle School located on Slocum Road. Now, moving on to the public hearings portion of tonight's meeting, it's a continued case. It's variance case ZAV 25-4. It was continued from July 23rd. The petitioner applicant is Dion Caleta, and the subject property is at 25 Thatcher Street, also known as map 122, lot 91-1. In that case, the petitioner was seeking a variance to reduce the setbacks from the required 20 feet to 0 feet to construct an outdoor deck, kitchen grill area in the rear of the house to the property line. They're seeking relief under Article 375-10.4D.1B, Development Standards. So, I can... At this time, I usually call upon the petitioner. We've seen the petitioner here, I think at least on 2 occasions. He's been here before the board. And I don't see him here in the audience. There is one person, though, who was here, who spoke on behalf of the cemetery the last time. And we'll give him an opportunity, we'll give her an opportunity to speak as well. But have you heard anything,
No.
Madam Secretary,
No,
from,
no, no.
nothing from
Nothing.
the petitioner?
No.
All right. We've basically had, always extended people the courtesy just in case that there's something that's going on. And given the finality of a decision of this board, if we were to find against this petitioner, I always like to give people a last clear chance to provide an explanation, and if they don't, then we can act upon it. But I do know that we had provided some instruction to the petitioner about potentially meeting with the representative of the cemetery to see if there was something that could have been worked out. So she is here. I'll give her an opportunity if she wants to come forward and speak as to whether or not there was any communication. She can probably speak to that. If you could please state your name and address.
Catherine Dias, 507 Elm Street, South Dartmouth Cemetery.
So was there any communication between Mr. Caleta and you?
No,
He never reached out to you? Okay. Do you know whether or not he reached out to anybody on the board for the cemetery?
and he hasn't reached out to anybody.
He
And I'm
hasn't.
the sole employee, so I take all the phone calls and all the messages.
Okay. Well, thank you. All right. Is there anything else that you'd like to speak to this board about, or would like to?
No, I've said everything I needed to say at the last 2 meetings.
Okay. Thank you. All right, gentlemen. So we haven't had one of these in a while, but it's always been sort of a, I'm not going to say unwritten policy is the best phrase I have for it at this point, but we'll usually give them an opportunity to come forth another date, and then if they don't show up that date, then obviously we have a decision we have to make. I always, hope for the best with these situations, but it's always a possibility the gentleman could have had an emergency, family or something. But we'll give him, I'd like to give him the benefit of the doubt. So if anyone would like to put forth a motion to continue the matter with instructions to,
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
when you have a chance, I would like to comment on this.
certainly.
Yeah, I thought I sat on this the last time, but I don't know why I'm not sitting on it right now, but I would like to know, because I tried to find out who the trustees of the cemetery are, and I would like to get them here to provide evidence that they objected to this proposed variance, or whatever it is, because I think it's an interest that we should look at. I can't find out anything online as who the trustees of the cemetery are. That never appeared before here, and they're objecting to somebody that wants to put a grill. I'd like to have them here with the I don't know what the person that is proposing the variance, I forget his name, but,
Mr. Caletta.
yeah, I don't know why he isn't here, but I don't know why the trustees aren't here, if they call trustees. So if we're going to continue this matter, I'd like to hear from everybody.
All right. But to answer your first question, so typically, Mr. Faria, whenever we have a member, an alternate member serve, the very next meeting, if there's a voting member that's available and they've also reviewed, and in this case, I didn't make it clear for the record, but Attorney Human actually reviewed and followed the Mullen Rule and signed the necessary paperwork. It's just been sort of the unwritten policy of the board to reconvene. Whenever we can convene to the voting members, we do so. All right,
I understand that, that's okay.
fair enough.
Already, he said on the first opening, the opening.
Yeah, he did, he did. But that's basically our policies, to go back to where to our voting members sitting.
Right.
Well, we've heard Attorney Faria. I don't know how you gentlemen feel about that. At this point, I was looking for a motion that we continue the matter to another, when's our next? I just announced it. We could put on for September 24. Well, we're not gonna have,
We may not have.
yeah, so he's gonna have to go off to the
Yeah,
next date on that. Let's pick the date in which we're gonna have
Maybe I-
Sherbrooke, we can decide now when Sherbrooke's gonna be, based on what's the availability.
the 23rd and 30th of October.
All right, we'll put it on for the 23rd, Sherbrooke will be the 23rd, and the 30th will be Hawthorne. All right, now, have you communicated with Mr. Cadetta, and how have you done it? Was it by email, or was it just?
No, there's been no communication.
No
I
communication.
mean, it's not, it's up to him to come to me.
Oh, I agree,
You know,
I agree. All right,
And it,
well, I'd just like to, we
No,
can send him,
I-
I'd like to just send him a letter.
Right, no, I
Indicate-
agree, or
send a
just, yeah, send them a
Either a letter or
notice.
an
I
email,
mean, that's
I'll
not a
sign it if
courtesy.
need be, just indicating that, it was continued, we extended him the courtesy, rather than just voting against it.
Okay.
Because we're aware of the critical ramifications that it will have, and if he doesn't appear at the next date, that we're gonna move forward and vote on the matter.
okay,
And I'll sign it if need be, okay?
yeah, no problem.
All right, great.
Maybe also in the letter, we should probably remind him that, he needs to communicate with, because that's the reason we did
I'm surprised.
continue the hearing.
Yeah, we
And
did.
just to be fair, I think he was at the last meeting, but we didn't have a quorum at the last meeting.
We did.
No, we
Yeah,
did,
he
we
was
did.
here.
At the last meeting, it was Attorney Faria.
Yeah.
It was myself.
Oh, okay, yeah, I'll take it
And you were
back. I
here- you
thought,
were here
so
as
he
well.
wasn't for that when we didn't have a
Yeah, you were
quorum.
here as well.
But we did say it was September 24th for
Yes.
the next meeting, so he knew, okay.
Yeah. he-
Yeah,
he
so
was made aware.
there was no
Yeah.
need to remind him, okay, if you knew
September
that,
10th,
yeah.
yes.
So we know.
Okay. But I agree, I mean, we always
We just want to give
give,
him one last clear chance, and then he could decide from there. Is there anything else we want to address? We have Attorney Faria's concerns. I don't know if that's something you guys want to address as well. We basically, there are representations made. The individual's not an attorney, right? She's here on behalf of she indicates that she's here on behalf of the cemetery. We give whatever weight that is, whatever the representations are. Or if it's the wish of the board, that was a suggestion from Attorney Faria. We can, not follow it. We can decide we want to do something, or we just continue on with the way that we're going.
Ms. Ayers, can I ask you, is there a board?
Excuse me, just one second,
Yes,
before you answer that, Counsel. If you could come up to the podium, just so that it could be recorded. We want to make sure it makes the minutes.
There is a board of directors, correct?
It consists of 5 members, one including myself.
You're on the board of
Yes, I am.
directors.
oh, okay.
You're instructed by the board of directors to take this position that you've now taken before this board, is that correct?
Yes, I have.
Well, I'm satisfied that I don't think we need the board here, or
I
anybody else
agree,
from
if
the
she
board.
represents the board, I mean, there's no,
Mr. Chair, I didn't ask for the board to be here. I asked for some verification because I have some concern about this, the way this complaint came about. I think it was an anonymous complaint, is from what I understand. When I was sitting there, somebody anonymously complained about this gentleman putting up a grill on his property. And then the building inspector went out there and found out that there was an attachment to his house. I would like to have an explanation from the board, they don't have to be here, whether there was a vote and who was the one that complained about it, because there's pictures of this gentleman putting up a fence. I think they called it a barrier, as I remember it, because I sat on the board, or there wasn't a barrier, there was a fence that he put up, which is legal. And there's some concerns that I have when somebody files a complaint like that, and I want to know who filed the complaint and what was the purpose of it, and where is the homeowner that's not here. So I think he's entitled to have the rest of his hearing, because I sat on it and I'm concerned about it.
All right, gentlemen. I don't know how much relevance the origin of the complaint has for us, but I'm indifferent.
It was my understanding from looking at, reviewing the video of the previous hearing, that when they went out there to take a look at the property, he had actually built something right up to the boundary line and was told to take it down. And my memory is that at a prior hearing, we were told he only took the roof off. He never took the entire work that was not approved by the town down. It's still there, as I understand it.
I think that's correct. I think the biggest issue is there's a deck area that actually encroaches on the setback area. But his position was that it wasn't attached to the building, that's my recollection, it wasn't attached to the building, and that it was, on one end, it's only like 1 foot. It's like a 1 foot, so no different from if you were pavers, the argument. But because of the contour of the property, on one end, it's about 2 to 3 feet in height. So now it can qualify as a deck. And I think Halim touched upon this because he wanted him to speak to the building inspector as to whether or not this was an actual deck in the ordinary sense. You know, I don't think if you build something above the ground 1 foot on one side, that's a deck. I don't know if that's a deck. You know, I don't think it's much different than putting pavers, and pavers are what, 4 inches, and you put them over the ground, and they can pavers could come right up to a property line and not be a problem. I think the issue becomes is when this area that's potentially a deck becomes a structure, and now it's encroaching on the setback. So there's some definitional arguments that you have with all this, and I didn't want to get into all of that. I was hoping that, you know, people could be good neighbors and just try to appease. And I know that there was some distance that was suggested, that this gentleman potentially cut back the deck area, back maybe 3, maybe 5, maybe 7, maybe 10, whatever it was that could be workable, so that we could sort of, you know, reach some sort of a resolution to this, if you will. That make sense?
Yes.
All right.
Should we, you want to make a motion?
Sure. I make a motion that we continue variance ZAV 25-4 till October 23, 2025. And Michelle, you're going to try to get in contact with the, and I would suggest that you tell him to get online and watch tonight's hearing too, so he knows what the concerns are, so he can address that for the next meeting.
I second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, the ayes have it. All right, moving on, gentlemen. Moving on to the administrative portion of tonight's meeting, which is review and approval of administrative minutes of August 20th, 2025.
I have no comments, Mr. Chair.
I have nothing to add.
Give me another second here. No, this one's fine. I have no comments on that. I'll entertain a motion, gentlemen.
I make a motion that we approve the administrative minutes of August 20, 2025.
I second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, the ayes have it. Next is review and approval of variance AAPL 25-1, which was an administrative appeal, minutes dated August 20th, 2025, for 146 Chase Road.
Mr. Chair, I believe I left some corrections on that with the secretary.
Great. Anything else?
I have none, Mr. Chair, at this time.
Attorney Faria?
I have none.
All right, gentlemen, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion that we approve the minutes of variance AAPL 25.
Administrative appeal. Administrative appeal.
Administrative appeal minutes of variance AAPL 25-1 as stated,
That's,
corrected.
I second that motion, except it's not a variance.
Yes. It's administrative appeal.
Oh, I'm sorry,
Yeah. And I did state that myself when I read it, and you're right, Attorney Human, it's not.
146, yeah, I wasn't at that hearing, that's why, okay.
Second? I heard a
Second.
second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, the ayes have it. Moving on to last but not least is review and approval of variance ZAV 25-7, minutes of August 20th, 2025 for 14 Galleon Drive. Attorney Farrier?
Nothing to add.
Human?
You just minor correction,
All right.
right?
I'll entertain a motion.
I make a motion that we approve the variance minutes for variance case ZAV-25-7 dated August 20th, 2025 as written.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, the ayes have it. All right, gentlemen, that brings us to the end of tonight's meeting. Is there any other business that we need to discuss? We've already scheduled dates for, tentative dates, I should say,
Yes.
for the 40Bs and also potentially for some of the other regularly scheduled business that we may have. If there's nothing else, we were provided just a quick little overview on, there's been some discussion about changing a member,
Right.
the number of members on this board from a 3 to a 5-member board. Is there anything that you want to discuss? I just put together a quick little response.
I haven't yet, but maybe tomorrow I will, because, let me take a look, yeah.
Yeah, I'm indifferent, quite frankly. We can operate as a 3, we can operate as a 5. The only thing I guess I would add is we're having difficulty at times operating as a 3 because of the numbers. If we're a 5-member board, we're gonna have to be 8 members with 3 alternates, or maybe 4 alternates, but doing that, actually, we can act, as a 5-member board, we can hear cases with 4.
Right.
Correct.
Yeah,
But then you'd have to have unanimous vote.
You have unanimous vote. So those are all things to consider. The only one that really reaches out to me is that you're gonna have more input, more ideas because you have more people. You'll have 5 people on the
No,
board.
but I look at our board, none of the chairmans has ever said that they did not want to hear from the other members of the board. Like, you always turn to like Walter and Doc and say, do you want to add anything? And everybody speaks their mind. So is that going to change with a 5-member board? I don't think so.
No,
And I think a 3-member, my opinion, 3-member board is more efficient.
I second that.
I'd like to take credit for that, but my predecessor, who was Mr. Schuber, and also Jackie, what's Jackie's last name?
Figurito.
Ms. Figurito. She was, when I sat as an alternate, she always let everyone have an opportunity to be heard. So I certainly took some training from her in that respect. But, yeah, I guess there's a lot to be heard.
My biggest concern is your biggest concern. We have trouble keeping 3 members and 3 alternates. We don't have that right now. So where are we going to get 5 members and 4 alternates?
I second that.
Right, but, I mean,
You know what, you know what, when the Board of Selectmen went from 3 to 5, and I watch TV all the time because I have nothing to do. My life is going downhill. I'm not like Michael Madeira's traveling the world. So I watch TV, and you know what? It doesn't work. There's too many, when you're board members, and you know what? We're all volunteers. And Alvin, as you said, to get 3 people here is difficult. To get 5 people here, and then it doesn't work. We're a small town, and
That's
we're
a
growing.
Walter.
Let's stick with 3 people that have the town's interest at heart and devote their time. right?
Exactly.
That's what we need. We need people that are going to be here to devote their time.
I second Walter.
Mr. Chairman.
The thing is, we have to let the town administrator know what your thoughts are and a way you're gonna go.
We kind of, well, it's not our decision to make, and actually, it's not even the select board's decision to make. They have to decide if they want to do something, then it's gonna go before town meeting. Town meeting members are gonna have to
Right.
decide if they want a 5-member board. They'll take some direction, obviously, from the select board, and the select board sort of has to be the catalyst, because if they don't make a change, and if they don't put a warrant before the town meeting, then it never happens. But if they wanna put a warrant and see what happens, maybe they just wanna put a warrant and maybe just see if there's gonna be, how many people would support it.
No, you know what, I commend the chairman for asking for our input, because what you said, Mr. Chair, is that they're asking for our input because they can't do it on their own. They got to present it to town meeting, as I understand it. But at least they want our input. My input, just my little knowledge, is I think a 3-man board in this, in town, works better than a 5-man board.
And you may be right
For
about that.
obvious reasons, you know?
I'd feel more comfortable if I had served on both at some point in time. If I had served on a 5 and served on a 3, I'd probably be able to say, well, these are the benefits that I think would be better. And I haven't served on one, so I don't have the experience other than just sort of, just reading information and some supposition. And I don't really want to provide someone else an opinion just based on that, so. We'll let the town fathers, they have wisdom, let them decide how they want to handle it.
Is
All right.
that what,
Yeah,
Is
just,
that how
I
you're
defer,
gonna let
personally,
the
I
select
defer to,
board-
well, I think basically, it seems to be that the members, many
Consensus.
members of the board believe that 3-member board works fine. It's efficient, we're a small town, and we're having difficulty getting the numbers as it is,
all right?
all right? So that's sort of those are the points that have been raised.
And I can let them know that?
You can let them know that
Okay,
that's what the members of the board have said.
Okay, okay,
But yet again, I'm willing to operate either way.
right, okay. Yeah, I think
I'll
everybody
operate
will
either
be-
way.
Okay.
Okay,
I'm being on the opposite side. I always like a larger board because, when you go to 3 board members, if one says no, then,
Well,
but.
so
But,
Walter.
I mean, being on, because 90% of the time I'm on the other side, not here, so I've been to.
But sometimes it's easier to connect with smaller numbers. So Attorney Human, myself, and Attorney Faria have tried cases in front of juries. In the Superior Court, it's a 12-man jury, or 12-person jury, and in the District Court, it's a 6-person jury. So I always find that you can connect better with 6 people than 12. You just seem to, that's just, but that's a different dynamic from this. It's not a
Yes.
public
Yes,
hearing.
and
It's a different
not the
dynamic,
same.
but I look at
The
that.
less people,
Yeah.
the more.
Sometimes,
it's
but
like
you
Yeah.
gotta, and
Cozy group.
the thing is it has to be it has to be unanimous on both. You gotta,
For a criminal case.
for a criminal case, you gotta be unanimous for 6 or unanimous for
Unanimous for
12.
12, yeah.
So,
Ooh.
I don't know if Attorney Farrier would agree with me on that, but that's just a feel.
No, I feel the same way.
Yeah. All right, so we've provided a little bit of discussion on that. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn, gentlemen.
I make a motion that we adjourn.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Aye, the ayes have it. Have a nice evening.